Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are live. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm going over, for stations that just tuned in and listeners that just tuned in, I'm going over this article that is so important. It's up on prisonplanet.com, and it's also on Infowars.com, and it's titled, Cybersecurity as Framework for Total Government Regulation and Control of Our Lives. And I want to start this analysis here by pointing out people are in denial about this. There are people commenting on the story saying we're fear-mongering. This is not the beginning of the end of the Internet. Well, I just covered in the last segment, Mother Jones headline, Should Obama Control the Internet? And the headline is, should President Obama have the power to shut down domestic Internet traffic during a state of emergency? Senators John Rockefeller, Democrat West Virginia, and Olympia Snowe, Republican Maine, think so. On Wednesday, they introduced a bill to establish the Office of National Cybersecurity Advisor, an arm of the executive branch that would have vast power to monitor and control Internet traffic to protect against threats of critical cyber infrastructure. The broad power is rattling some civil libertarians. And then you can go read the bill. You see, when Level 2 and Cogent, just two medium-sized peer-to-peer Internet providers, had a fight with each other 4 or 5 years ago, about a third of the web was inaccessible. Well, by design, under federal law, they want to put snooping hubs and federal machinery, federal pieces of equipment, in even smaller ISPs where the entire web can be turned on, shut down, parts of it turned on, shut down, anytime the establishment wants to. And that is on record. So this is what they're doing. And after Jesse Ventura leaves us later, I'm going to properly go through all of this because I just can't do it in the time we have. But at the end of the show, the last 30 minutes, I'm going to devote it exclusively, the more I think about it, to just breaking down the whole history of this, how the grid works, and what's happening. But I told you GM was going to go bankrupt 2.5 years ago by design, and that they would use the bailout money to ship it to China and Brazil. We're on record. We told you that they were going to stage a 9/11 attack on the World Trade Towers and blame it on bin Laden months before it happened. We tell you all of this stuff. We know the enemy's game plan. We know what they're doing. And it's as clear as the nose on my face. Right now, let's go ahead and go to Jeff in Hawaii, who says he disagrees. Go ahead, Jeff.
Hello.
Yes, Jeff.
Yes, I really do disagree, but I do think you should change your rule. Because you do get a lot of callers who just say they're going to disagree, and then they get put front, right? And then they pump some show or some internet space or whatever. So I find you extremely difficult to believe most of what you say at this point. This bird flu thing, you blew completely out of proportion. You said you were losing touch with your ability to think a couple of weeks ago. I think you should admit you're a right-winger for one and quit saying you're trying to break the left-right paradigm. Hello?
I'm listening to you.
Okay, and this guy called in Friday to your show. Jason was the host, but Jason was real trite with the guy. The guy was going to disagree, and he was going to say that you guys are, picking on Obama a whole lot more than Bush, which I totally agree with that. And I want to back that guy up, but Jason wouldn't listen to the guy. He just got really trite, really smart-alecky with him, and the guy ended up just kind of hanging up during the break and never got any points out. But I would say that we're being bombarded with Obama being the tip of the spear. Bush wasn't the tip of the spear. He was kind of like a good old boy who you kind of liked underneath. You're kind of like him. I want to say that mining gold causes mercury poisoning. Are you familiar with this?
I know that. I know there's a lot of mining that has bad byproducts.
The two deepest mines in the world, gold mines, are in South Africa. In '86, there was like 177 blacks fried in a gold mine in South Africa. And
Sir, I appreciate your call. Sir, listen, I gave you about 2 minutes to run on there and say I'm a right-winger. I'm not a right-winger or a left-winger. If you think I'm right-wing because I'm pro-Second Amendment and pro-national sovereignty, and because I'm against high taxes and regulations and control so that politicians can feather the nest of themselves and big corporations and special interests, then yes, I'm a right-winger. But I don't believe in this whole left-right thing. And I got somebody on the line with us for the next hour to take calls and cover the news and talk about his view on the world. We really appreciate movie star, former top professional wrestler, a Little League volunteer coach, I guess, a Navy SEAL.
Football coach.
A football coach. And you also called national football, too, didn't you?
Yeah, I worked 2 years for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers with Gene Deckerhoff on the radio, and then 1 year with the Minnesota Vikings.
All right. Well, Governor Ventura, it's good to have you back with us. I appreciate you spending time with us. What is most important on your mind right now happening in the world? What is angering Jesse Ventura, and what is exciting Jesse Ventura? What's negative and what's positive?
Well, Jesse's never angry, Alex. You know that. I'm just enthusiastic, that's all. I don't get mad, I get even. No, I guess what perturbs me is the feeling that I guess I'm not mainstream anymore by some of the things that I believe. And when I talk to people and do the press junket on the book tour, I find so often that people are just poo-pooing this torture issue. They're making it seem like, well, these people deserve to be tortured if anyone on the planet does, and therefore it's okay to do it. And I'm appalled over that, because we have to be a country that goes by the rule of law, even when the rule of law is inconvenient or not maybe in our favor. We still. Otherwise, what do we stand for, Alex, if we just do it when it works for us? And I just am really pushed today as to why I have to defend my country from torturing people. I never believed I'd have to do that.
Well, I agree with you. I mean, it's fundamental that the Nazis and the Soviets and the rest of them tortured people, and so they were the bad guys. The North Vietnamese tortured people, so they were the bad guys. And Pol Pot did it, so they were the bad guys. Now they have the nerve to make Jack Bauer the hero on TV, and he tortures people to get answers. And then now we've got big Republicans coming out on Fox News. We have the clip saying, go ahead and just kill everybody at Guantanamo Bay without a trial. And then we have this Army colonel coming out saying, in the New York Post and USA Today, Ralph Peters saying, kill U.S. media in future wars that criticize the government. Have you heard of this?
No, I haven't. You know, I'm not as well read on the topics always as you are, Alex. Many of the stuff I hear from you for the first time. You know, people need to understand the large picture here, that there's an old saying that one of my best friends that I grew up with, his father, he passed away a couple years ago in his 90s, who was a good friend of my father. We were young boys together, and our fathers actually grew up together. And he used to always make the saying that you never let the camel get its nose under the tent. And, of course, what he meant by that is if a camel gets his nose under the tent, rest assured eventually the whole body is going to get in the tent. It's inevitable.
Give them an inch, they'll take you a mile.
Exactly. The same philosophy. And so when we take an attitude on this torturing that, well, it's okay under certain instances, well, get ready, because we're not going to end it there. It's man's natural aggression and power that it's going to expand, and pretty soon, you know, when people, like I had someone defend it by saying that, well, our Constitution says that it only protects American citizens, so if you're not an American citizen, you're not protected by our Constitution. Well, to that I say hogwash, because that would be the equivalent then if a tourist came to America and was arrested for something, that we could take that tourist in and waterboard them.
Exactly.
To find out what they know.
Well, the Declaration of Independence states that all men are created equal, and that this was a document for the whole world, and that it was only pointing out basic rights that were already there. Plus, the military admits the intelligence they get from torture is A, no good, and B, how are we going to say other countries are bad when they torture our people?